I was just saying, but at the same time, when you're addressing the problem, you can't address the branch, you have to address the root. And I say this all the time, man. Everyone knows that you have to clean your home. You must clean whether you live in a home or an apartment. If you have a home with 7 rooms or 8 rooms, you have to clean all 8 of those rooms or your house is not clean. You can't clean 4 rooms that you think everybody's going to see and they're not going to see the other 4 rooms and say, I'm going to ignore those 4 rooms. Your house is still dirty. I say all that to say this. Many times, so-called black people, they like to talk a good game about this issue or that issue, but they don't want to pay attention to the issues that really are relevant. You have to clean up all these issues. Why is it that the so-called black man and so-called black woman cannot dwell in a home together? Why is it that many of the children do not respect the so-called black mother after they hit puberty? Why is it that there are still quote-unquote colorism issues? All these problems stem from the lack of a culture. So-called black people were all grouped in together under a corporate designation known as black. And that has caused a lot of confusion. That is the problem. Now, when you look at the so-called white race or the so-called white man, they only identify as that for census, but most of them would tell you, I'm Italian, I'm German, I'm Irish, I'm Swedish, I'm Croatian. And those are cultures. When you look at so-called Hispanics, they'll tell you, I'm Dominican, I'm Peruvian, I'm Ecuadorian, I'm Cuban, I'm Puerto Rican. Those are cultures. You can have a dark-skinned so-called black man, but if he's from the Dominican Republic, he's not going to tell you he's black. He's going to tell you, I'm Dominican. Why is that? Because that's a culture. And American blacks are confused by that. Oh, you're ashamed of your blackness. No, he's not. He just knows his culture. You don't. You have to identify yourself by a skin color because you don't know shit. And you're always trying to tell these people from these other regions and these other places how they should think. And you're wrong about that. You need to find out who you are before you can tell somebody else what they should be calling themselves. People from Africa, they don't say I'm black. They say I'm Ugandan. I'm from Chad. I'm Cameroonian. I'm Sierra Leonean, because those are all cultures. All right. I mean, if we really want to get specific nowadays, those are really nationalities. Very few people even really know their culture in many of these other lands because we live in a worldwide corporation. But they're closer to being culturalized than American black people are.